So, last time we discussed functions. Today I would like to talk about scoping. And what is scoping? So, you've noticed that we have the ability to create named values. And we have two ways of doing this. We can use const, which means that the assignment statement is constant. You can no longer change what that name is assigned to. And we have let, which allows for mutation. It allows for change. Again, to review, if we do this, const A is, let's say, 5, I can never then change that to say A should be 8. This is an error. You cannot do that, because this assignment is constant. You can no longer change the assignment. If you do let, that's okay. This is no longer an error. You can change the value of A later. You can change it to anything you want. You can change it to a string. You can then change it to an object. You can then change it to an array. To an array. You can change it to whatever you want later, if it's a let. This is the difference. Okay? So, we understand that there are ways of naming values. The question, though, is which names are visible in which parts of your code? So far, we've been writing code basically in sequence. And we've noticed that if you do const A, let's say, of 4, A is not visible before it's created. It's only visible after it's been created. So it's visible here. You can do console.log A here, no problem. But you cannot do it before. That would cause an error, right? See, nothing prints. That's an error. Because if we're executing top-down, obviously, A does not exist in this line. It gets created here. Therefore, you can use it after that. Is that part clear? Yes? Fine. Now, remember that we talked about these squiggly braces that are the beginning and end of things. If statements have this. You can do an if with something like if A is 4, then, and the then contains a beginning and end, and then you can write code in here. Console.log A. Right? We've seen this in functions as well. You can do a function. Const f is a function which has a beginning and an end. Right? We've seen this beginning and end structure in two different places already, and we'll see additional places later. This is known as a block. A block. Beginning and end. Imagine drawing like a rectangle around this, like that sort of. That is a block of code. Variables, let and const, have block scope. Here's what I mean. This is what I mean. Look, if I do a let in here, let z be 6, right? I can only use it, obviously, underneath its creation, so I can't use it up here, but I can use it here. And also only inside of that block. Never outside of that block. So here's what I mean. In here, I can no longer reference z. If I do console.log z, this is an error. Because I am outside of the block. I can't go into the block and try to read z. Doesn't work that way. Now, however, here's the interesting part. I can't go into a block. Ooh, my thing's not. I can't go into a block, but, and here's the interesting part, if I'm in a block, I can go up and read something above me. Alright? So, here's what I mean. If from here I can read A. A is declared outside of this block, right? Above it. But that's okay, I can read it. However, Z is created inside, therefore here I cannot read Z. Okay. Don't worry if that's confusing, we'll go through some examples. So, let's create a function. Let's create another function. And let's create another function inside of that. Okay. So here we have const, A, which is a 4. this? Return Z. I call F. What happens here? Read open. Okay. So, what are we doing here? We call F, so we go in here. Inside of F, we create a Z function, and we return the result of calling the Z function. Is that clear? Okay. Z then returns A. How does this work? It works like this. In this scope, we look for the creation of A. Is A created inside of the scope? Yes or no?
No.
No, A doesn't exist. It's not. You don't see a const A or a let A anywhere here, right? So it's not created here. So we go up one, and we go up to this scope. Is A created up here anywhere? No. So we go up one more, and we get to here, this scope here. Is A created here anywhere? Yes, right there, right here, right? So we use A there. So if, however, we did this, let's rerun that algorithm again. Is A created anywhere in here? No. So we go up one. Is A created here? Yes, here it is. Therefore, this A would be 6,565. If this did not exist, you would keep going up and find this one. Think of it this way. You need milk. You want milk for your coffee, okay? First thing you do is you look on the table where you're sitting. Is there milk? If there is, you use it. Great. If not, you have to go outside of that, so you look in the entire apartment, right? So the apartment is the next scope. It's the next block. So you go around, you look in your refrigerator, whatever, you see if you can find milk. If you can't find milk in your apartment, you go outside of that, you look in the entire building. You go knocking on people's doors. Right? And if you can't find it in the building, you go outside of that and you look in stores. Right? But along that way, the first thing you find, you use. So if your neighbor has milk, you don't have to leave the house. If you have milk in your refrigerator, you don't even have to leave your apartment. Got it? Okay. So imagine block going that way. However, it doesn't go the other way around. If someone's outside your building looking for milk, they're not going to go inside the building, into your apartment, onto your table, and take your milk. That's weird. Got it? So whenever you're looking for something, for a value, you go out, you never go in. Huh? Sort of? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Դուք այնտեղ որ գրեցի const an հավասար է 6500 չկեմ ինչ։ Հա, բայց երբ որ const են գրում an հավասար է 4, ինքը չի նշանակում որ an հետո էլ չի կարող փոխվի։
Իրա սկոպի մեջ, իրա տուփի մեջ։ Բայց ներքին տուփում դու կարող ես նորից ստեղծես իրա լոկալ վիճակ։
Ուրիշ այ է, այսինքն։
Ուրիշ այ է ստեղծում։ Այս այը ու այս այը տարբեր այ են։
Այսինքն ինքը եթե return-ի ժամանակ 6565-ի դարձավ։
Այո, ինչու, որովհետև իր ամենամոտ տուփը, իր ծնողների ամենամոտ տուփը այդ մեկն է։ Եթե սա լիներ ստե, իսկ նայեք, եթե սա լիներ ստե, ու լիներ այս, իր ամենամոտ ներքին տուփը, որն է, այդ է, չէ՞։ Այդ եթե հանեք մյուսը կվերցնի, այդ եթե հանեք մյուսը կվերցնի։
То есть constanta կապ չունի։ То есть constanta կապ չունի, թե let լիներ։
Հա, այդ կապ չունի, դա չեն փոխում։ Right. If you did this, it doesn't matter. Այսը նույն բանը կլիներ։ Նույն բանն է, որտեղ չենք փոխում A-ը, նոր A եք ստեղծում։
Բայց դրա համար պետք է բլոկը փոխենք։
Այո, այսինքն, նայեք։ Let's go back to const.
Այսինքն այդ const-ի տակ չեք կարող, չէ՞ լի գրել։
Չէ, sense չեք կարող անել, կամ sense։ Բայց ուրիշ բլոկի մեջ, որտեղ այդ բլոկում դուք իրան ներքին, նայեք, պատկերացրեք sense. Imagine this. Every time you make a block, so this is... Oh, okay, wait, I have another one. Wait, well, I was getting better at it. Okay, cool. Imagine this. Every block, in each block is like the squiggly and squiggly, right? That's the beginning and end. That's a block. Every block has a list of various names. Okay? This block in here has its own list of names. This block out here has its own list of names. So in this example here, the outer block, this block says A should be 4. Right? The next inner block says this one, says A should be 6,565. The next inner block, that's this one,
54.
says 54. Right? So, if this did not exist, when you're in here, if you see A, you first look in your local names. If it does not exist, you go up 1. You go to your parent. There it is. So you use that. So therefore, A is this. If this did not exist, you would go up to the next level and take this one. Got it? But never the other way around. If you had no A up here, and you wrote A somewhere here, it would never go into this or into that. That's weird. That doesn't work that way. You can only go out. You can leave your apartment and go buy milk, but people in the street can't go into your apartment and take your milk. Right? You can always go out. You can't go in. Yeah? Sort of? Okay. So, yeah, okay.
ամենափոքր արկղի մեջից մենք չենք կարա եթե ենթադրենք այդ միջին արկղի մեջին էլ անկա մեծի մեջ էլ անկա մենք չենք կարա ինչ-որ մի ձև միանգամից ամենամեծի այն կան
Չէ, so you can't, if you just write A, it will just take the closest one going up this chain, up the block chain. There's no way for you to jump and get that one, unless you just give it a different name. Sorry, right? If you want to access A differently, call it B. And now here you can do A plus B. A will be this one, and B will be that one. No problem. Sort of makes sense? Yes, questions?
If I write above the const A equals 6,565, console.log A, does it take it as 4 or?
Okay, good. So here, very good question. At this level, does A exist in the scope? Hang on.
Is it 4 or 6,000?
Ah, interesting. So, if you create a name locally, you can never use it within that scope, even if above it. Even, in other words, you can't think that this is this. You get it? Okay. The way the language is designed, listen, the way the language is designed is if within a scope you create A, you can never, within that scope, refer to an A outside of that context, even if you're above it. That's just the language design. That's how it is. Okay? Intuitively, I see your point. You were saying, wait, A doesn't exist at this level yet, so therefore, why can't this A refer to this one? But then when it does exist, then it's different, right? That's just not how the language is designed. Okay? The answer is no, you can't do that. My guess is the reason why they did not do that is to avoid confusion. Because A is a constant, right? So what you're saying is there's going to be an A in this scope, and it's always going to be this. And the reader, if they ever see A above it, they're going to get confused. Right? So to avoid confusion, I think they just made it illegal to do that. Yeah? Okay. So if you want to use this A, do not declare a local A. That's simple. If you declare a local A, that's the one that will be used. Got it? Yes. Exactly, because what you're saying is, if at this level, look, this level A is 4, right? A is 4. If in this block I did console log A, it would use this block. It never goes into the other blocks, right? So it would use that A, of course. Let me give you guys some examples, and let's see how we do. So let's do const A is 4. Then let's do if A is equal to 4. Let's do const A is a 6. If A is equal to a 6. There you go. Okay, I just gave you the answer. Wait, that was a bad. Yeah, because that's totally going to be hard. If A is not equal to 66, then do that, else do this. Const A is okay. What will this print?
If it's a bad bunch,
You're done. So what will this print? You tell me.
55.
Yeah, 9. Okay, good. So let's figure this out. So we have A is 4 in the biggest block, right? By the way, the outer block, the outermost block, is called the global scope. The block that is the farthest out, it's called the global scope.
Belagelijk skoppen met je. Nu in baan Belagelijk skoppen met nu in baan
Block scope, block scope I is banere, mi bloka, če? A me na drsine je banere čuni. Če, v principi. Strčka izvugaš, abo v JavaScript. So that's called a global scope. That's theoretically nu in zimita, jesen na. Jesen me stupa, jesen poslučuka. That's fantastic. Okay. So, A is 4. Is this true? Is A is 4? Yes or no? Yes, so we go in here. This is another, so we created a block. This is the beginning, this is the end. In here, we create a local variable called A, or a local constant, I should say. A, which is assigned to 6. Is A equal to 6? Is this true? Yes, so we go and we create another block. In that block, we create another local A, and we assign that to 66. Is A not equal to 66?
Yes, not.
This is false.
No.
So we go into the else. We create a local A and assign it to 55. And then we console log. Why did I just make it? I knew that. Okay. So we do that. Now, if I didn't do that, if I did this, what would I get? Remember, first you look on your table. Do I have milk? If you have it, you use it. If you don't, you look in your apartment. If you don't, you look in your building. If you don't, you look outside. Right? You go out one at a time. So what is the next block outside of this block? It's this block. Right? This is the start, that's the end. Joke Edge block image A steps first. So it prints. Now, if we didn't have that, let's just say this was false. And we didn't have this. What would it print? 6. If we didn't have this, what would it print?
4.
Good. Got it? Questions so far? Can I what? Repeat this part? Sure. Okay. So this is a block, correct? Whenever we look at A, our block. Is there an A created in my block? Yes or no? Yes. Where is it? There it is. Good. So this would print 55, right? If it did not exist, if you can't find milk locally, what do you do? Mituk verevest, one block out. Okay. It tuphavori verevna orna. Right. Eskizna, esverchna. Okay. ISA. IS tupi mech. Eka. Steps spots. Exactly. So this would print 66. Good. Now if it's we're Hanum and Waki, it's also false. You know what? It's Waki Niramara, what else Ashkati? Niramara also false. Askasanchi, what the S Hima Truya. What is A right now? 6. So this would be true, so Eskatapi. Okay? Stekamapi. I want else to run, so I just hard code this to false, just for now. Okay, now A doesn't exist in this block, so we go one more up. That's this block. Does A exist in here? There it is, 6, right? Other questions or yes? Very good question. Okay, so let's follow. If I do a console.log here, or not even here, I can do it after the if statement. Wait. I can do it here. What will this one print? This last one.
66.
What block is this created? Is this written in? This one. Is there an A created? Forget this. This does not exist. Forget this. Or 66. If I did a console log here, or if I did a console log here, let's get rid of this. We don't need this. Isn't it obvious what it is? Good. And if I did a console log at this level,
4.
obviously it's going to give 4 because, again, don't worry about this. Obviously, they're in the same block. Capish? We got this. Good. Okay, let's discuss some more interesting problems then. This is a function that returns, one more thing that I didn't mention. This is the same thing as doing let A, B, and then whatever gets passed into it, right? So therefore, A is considered to exist within this block. So, in other words, if I have another function called const f2, function, which returns A, return f2, and then I call it with f boom, and then 55. What will this call return? Here, let me console log it.
Function return item.
This 55 goes in here, so A becomes 55, right? Therefore, it's the same thing as saying A is now 55, right? When you do this, it's the same thing as this. Okay, so now we create a function called f2. We return the result of running that function. Remember, this would return the function. This would return to whatever the function returns, because we're running it, we're executing it. We pass no arguments in, so there's nothing here, no problem. And it returns A. What is A?
55.
Exactly, because A doesn't exist in this block, so we go up 1. Does it exist in this block? Yes, it does, and it's 55. Therefore, F2 will return 55. Therefore, calling F2 will return this. Therefore, this will turn into this. Boom. There you go. Same thing. And we can get rid of this, and you can see it's the same thing. Cool? that's a little more interesting. So let's do const A1 is 66. Then let's do if A1, bless you, is greater than or equal to 5. Here we'll do a const A1 is a boom. Then if A1 is not equal to 0, we will console.log A1. 88, right. Again, we look in this block. Is there an A1 created above this in this block? Yes or no? No, right? So we go up to the next block. That's this one. Is there an A1 there? Yes, there is, right there. Perfect. So we use it, and therefore we get 88. If this did not exist, what would we get? Right. No milk on the table, no milk in a house, therefore we go to the neighbors. Right? We go to the building. Cool? Okay. Good. So you understand scoping. Very cool. Yes?
So when you type the if statement, the first statement was true. That's why the const equals to 88 was true. If the condition was false, will you just ignore that const?
If the result of this was false, is that your question?
No,
Sorry, hang on. Let me go back one.
The first condition is false.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. If the first condition is false, none of this code will run. Չէ՞։ Այդ կոդը չի աշխատի։ Վրայից կթռնի։ Որտեղ ինչ ենք ասում ենք եթե ոչ, ապա, դե ապա չկա այդ, որտեղ արդեն ոչ կա, չէ՞։ Всё։ Սպեց։ Գնացինք հասանք ստեղ։ We just see it. But if this was true,
Իսկ եթե false-ա, բայց հետո if-ի հետ գրեք else-ի։
մի հատ է։ Եթե false, if this is false, and we do else if թե else։
Այն if-ի կողքը else-ի if-ի դեպը։
Որ if-ի։
Երկրորդ if-ի։
Կարևոր ինչ էլ գրեն այս բլոկի մեջ, երբեք չի աշխատի։ Որտեվ արդեն ասել ենք false, if false, всё, սա բլոկը ծխվեց, երբեք չի աշխատի։ Because it's false. Եթե true լինի, միշտ կաշխատի։
Առանց if-ի else չեն կարող, չէ՞։
Ճիշտ է։
Հետևաբար այս երկրորդի մեջ չեն կարող ուղղակի երկրորդ if-ը դարձնել կից։ Իրանից հետո կարող։
Սենց կարող եք անեք և սենց կարող եք անեք։ S else-ը S if-ին է պատկանում, S else-ը S if-ին է պատկանում։ Պարզա? We got this? Other questions? Questions about scope? Yes? Yes. Because so far, look, again, look at this. Can I use A here? Can I use A here? Good. Now, can I use B here? Can I use B there? Good. Now, can I use Z here? Can I use Z here?
But you have to write it.
Can I use Z1 here?
You have to write
Can I use it
is
here?
equal to 3.
Gördün mü? Cool. İçeriden.
You have to write const c is equal to 3 in order.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I knew that. Please. Students. Barza Road. We got this? Cool. All right. So, that was one thing. There were two things I want to talk about today. That's one big thing. The second big thing, it's going to blow your mind. You ready? It's going to be crazy. So we know that we have if conditions, which have a beginning and end, which this is a block, right? A beginning and end. And in this block, we can write code like console.log yay. Here we need some sort of a Boolean condition. right? A yes or no condition, when if it's true, this block will run. If it's false, then this block will not run. Yes? So let's create a condition like const A is 1, and here we just check to see that A is equal to 3. Aw, nothing ran. Okay, but if it's a 1, it's correct, it's true, therefore it runs. Yes? Cool. There's another thing we can do in programming. It's called looping. It's exactly like this. If is yete, right? Yete sa ճիշտ է, ապա sa աշխատացրեք. Okay? There's another one called քանի որ. How do you say քանի որ in English? While. Քանի որ. Քանի դեռ. Քանի դեռ. Քանի դեռ, ապա. Okay? So, to do that, we just need to write while. Therefore, what will happen? If I write the word while in here, there's an E at the end that I'm missing for now. If I do the E, it will check to see is this true, and it will run this code. After running this block, it will go back and check it again.
Again and again.
And then run the block, and then go back and check it again. Քանի դեռ. Քանի դեռ սա ճիշտ է, աշխատանքսուր սա գնում է, քանի դեռ ճիշտ է, աշխատանք ու դա ցիկլով պատասխանում է. Now question, if I put the E at the end of the while and it runs, what will happen?
It will.
Exactly. Is there ever a time when this will be false? No, so it will loop forever. This is known as an infinite loop. Okay? Okay, so what we need to do is have a way of stopping the loop, of ending it. Suppose I wanted to only have yay print 10 times. I want the loop to happen 10 times. What can I do? Well, what I need to do is, if I have A be constant, that means A can never change. If A can never change, this condition will always be true, right? So, I can't use a constant. I have to use a let. So now A is 1, and that's true. But now suppose after writing A, after writing yay, I change A to be 2. The next time, so here's what will happen. A is 1. Is A equal to 1? Yes. Քանի դեռ A-ը հավասարամեկին, այո. It prints console log yay. It changes A to 2, and then goes back up here and tries to evaluate again. What is A now? 2. 2 is not equal to 1. It's false. We break out of the loop. Հավասարը չէ, վերագրուն է։ Եթե չհասնի, ինչ պետք է չհասնի։ Նայ, վերևից ներքև է, չէ՞ կոդ աշխատում, ջան։ Սա եթե true է, չէ՞։ Ինքը վերևից ներքև, նախ այս կոդը աշխատացնի։ Այս պայմանը ճիշտ է։ Անընդհատ չէ, ինքը այս ամբողջ բլոկը պետք է աշխատացնի, ջան։ Նայ, սկիզբը եւ վերջը։ Ճոգեր։ So it starts here, it does this line, then this line, it has nothing else in the block, it comes here and checks again. Yes. How many times will this print console log yay?
Once.
If you write E while.
Ah, right, I'm sorry, yeah, I knew that. Okay, wow, there. Yay, very good. Is this much clear? Just this. Yes. Եթե ես այստեղ ստեղծեի A, այստեղ, եթե նոր A ստեղծեի, այո, այս բլոկի մեջ A կա ստեղծված։ Ունեք ասում հարց։ No, no, no. Տես, էս է ստեղծելը ջան։ Ստեղ ես ստեղծում եմ իրեն, ստեղ ես ընդամենը իրեն օգտագործում եմ։ Էս ան, էս ան։ Ինչ է եթե լետով վերածում։ Ստեղ եթե ես անեի let A, solid browsers. Ցխեցին կոմպը չէ, էլի բանը Chrome-ը։ Ինչու՞, որովհետև նոր ան ստեղծեցի, որին վերագրեցի երկուսը, այն ան մնաց մեկ, անվերջ։ Ուպսը։ Մի րոպե։ Անդե հարց կար հետևը։ No, if we didn't have that A, wait. If we did this, and then we did while, I'm not going to do the E yet, and then we did A is equal to 1, and then here we did console.log, I don't know, yeah. Sense? Yeah, it runs one time. In this case, it runs one time. If you only want one thing printed, you're right. But, here's awesome. Suppose we wanted her to print A, yay, not one time, the way this will happen. Sorry, let me do the E. S mi անգամ check the beat. Then sadek will 10 անգամ the beat. Can you think of a way to change the code? Right. Remember, this is not the only condition we can check for. We can do less than. Right? So what we can do is have A start with 1, but every time we loop, we can change A by 1. Make it 1 bigger. So it starts out as 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and it keeps going like this until it gets to a condition that fails. So, help me change this code.
Let plus 1.
While A is smaller or equal.
While A is, hang on, let me break it so it doesn't give me infinite loops. While A is what?
Smaller or equal.
What will happen if you get
Okay.
And then A is
A
equal to
plus
A plus 1.
Ready? Boom! Sure. Okay. You make a request to Facebook and it gives you a list of people, right? You don't know how many people there are, but what you need is some sort of a cycle so you can loop over those people, and for each one, draw them on the screen. So you might have your draw code here, not console log, but change the DOM, change the HTML here. Did someone raise it? Yes, sir. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? What's your guys, he's asking this question. Suppose I move console log from here to here. What will change?
Nothing.
Think of the logic. First, A is 1, right? We execute this entire block. Then A is 2. Again, we execute this entire block. Then A is 3, and we keep doing this. We don't check this immediately after this. We check this after we're done running the block. Ամբողջ բլոկը աշխատացնում ենք, նոր ենք գալիս ստուգում, ու նորից աշխատացնում, նոր ենք գալիս ստուգում, նոր ենք աշխատացնում, նոր ենք ստուգում, բայց չեղավ դուրս եկած։ Jokes? Yes? Help me change it so I get 100 yays.
That's a million grade.
Change from me bar, I think, right?
Այս ոնց լոգը եթե անհավասար է ապլուս մեկից է, հետո մի հատ բաղկա
Չէ, որովհետև այս ամբողջ բլոկը կաշխատի, կարևոր չի կոնսոլոգը ստեղա, թե ստեղա ջան։ Մեկը ամբողջ բլոկը աշխատելու է, չէ։ Այսինքն սրա արդյունքը ստուգվելու է մեկ այս բլոկի վերջում։ Հասկացա իմ ասացը։ Thank you. I is 1, right? Yes? Okay. Then, is this true? Is 1 less than 100? Yes, it is, right? So we go into this block. We change A. We do console log. Then we come here and we compare 2 with 100. Then we come here, we change it to 3. We console log. Then we compare 3 with 100. Հայլերը տարբերություն չի կոնսոլոգստերը սամիթստը։ Մեկը այս ամբողջը պետք է ավարտվի, մինչև այ ստուգումը լինի 100-ի հետ, համատումը։ So? Yes? Good question. What do you think will happen if I console log A?
1.
Make it 2, 4,
Notice how it begins with a 2. Why do you think that is?
Negative itself.
Exactly. Now, if I move this up, now it will begin with a 1. How? Yes, Mega? Eliem ասում, կարևոր չի, ժողովուրդ ջան, ստեղա, թե ստեղա, մեկ այս բլոկը 5 անգամ, ամբողջ բլոկը աշխատելու է 5 անգամ։
Այդ հարցն եմ էլի։ Եթե մենք փոքր կամ հավասարը, այդ հավասարը ջնջենք, 4 հատ կտպի։
Ինչ ես կարծում։
4 հատ կտպի։
Yes. Որ իրար կողք console logով չէ։ Կարող ես array-ի մեջ ավելացնես այդ ամեն ինչը, հետո array-ը, մենակ array-ը տվես։ The concept? Sure. All right, look. I'm going to repeat this one more time quickly just to make sure everyone's on the same page. Look, we understand this, right? Forget this. What does this mean? It means if եթե an ավելի քիչ է քան 5, ապա գրիսա. If A is less than 5, then run this block. That's clear. We can change this to while. I'm not going to write the E. Why am I not going to write the E? Because what will happen if I write E? This will always be true. A never changes in this code, right? So, քանի որ անհա ավելի քիչ է քան 5, console-ը գնաց։ Քանի որ ավելի քիչ է գնացի գե։ Ու դենց կֆրա, անվերջ, infinite loop. So what we need to do is change A so that this eventually becomes false. So how can we change A? Well, one way to do it is to just do this. By the way, will this cause an infinite loop?
Yes.
Yes, because A would be 3 and 3 is still less than 5. Would this cause an infinite loop?
No.
How many times would this run?
1.
Once, because initially A is 1. So we'll go here, do console log A, change A to 33, and when we come here, A is 33, which is false, therefore we drop out of the loop. Yes? Now, what we want to do is we want to keep changing A by 1. So what we can do is just have A be A with 1 more. So now, we get that. Is this, yes? Correct. False means jump out of the block and keep going. So it will print console.log. Ooh, here's an interesting one.
5.
What will A be?
5.
4. 2.
What does A have to be for this expression to be false?
5.
5.
Right, 5 or more. But what's the first thing that will happen if you keep increasing by 1? 5. So when it breaks out of here, what is the value of A?
1.
It's 5, guys. Look, A starts with 1. Is 1 less than 5? Yes, so we go in here, we make it of 2. Is 2 less than 5? Yes, we go 3, 4. We change 4 to 5. A is now 5. 5 is not less than 5, so we break out and A is 5. Yes? Blok es leta borbloku vlastne. Es borbloku neki ima. Nice. Okay, listen. Okay, I understand the confusion. He's saying this. Listen, this is important. In this scope, we have A is 4. Here, if I say A, it's going to check in this scope. It doesn't have it. It's going to check in this scope. It doesn't have it. It's going to come here and take 4. I think that's, we get that. Here's the thing. If I change A to 6, it's going to say, which A? Does A exist here for me to change? Do I have an A here? No, I have nothing here. I go up. Do I have an A here? No. Do I have an A here? Yes, I do. Therefore, change its 4 to 6. Therefore, this change changes this. Now, local H gap steps başça. Then what is A of what pohum emet vor ena. Amena verevi. Vorin yes step tapuma.
Hadi harstameli. Eda lettere const grade bunch of which.
What would happen if I did const here?
Error.
Const neyi çalışan? Yani miyat iş çalışıyor.
Borçlu bu.
Payası inşa.
Abo kusur.
Miyatı? Եթե const լինի, սա չեմ կարող, error կլինի։ Իսկ եթե սա անեմ, infinite կլինի։ Եթե մի հատ է ջան։ Yo, guys, I can't hear him. Sorry, go. If Abbas. Ha, step. If what is step? Ամենա վերջը. Step. Անեմ if A հավասարահին բնակա։ Որտեղ մենք արդեն գիտենք, որ անհին կա, դենց որ կարող ենք անենք const. Right. Yes. If you do this, you will get an error right now. Why? Because of this. If you remove this, what will happen? Բարձա, const-ը եթե լինի, սա չենք կարող փոխենք։ Եթե սա չփոխենք, սա միշտ մնալու է 1։ Եթե անմիշտ մնա 1, 1-ը միշտ ավելի քիչ է, քան 5։ Այսինքն քանի դերը միշտ կլինի true, ու կլինի infinite loop, միշտ կպտտվի։ Անվերջ։ Մարզա, yes.
After we make the a equal to 5, can we make it to a constant that always remains 5? Or
No. You can't make something that you created with a let into a constant later. You can't do that. It's either a constant or it's not. Other questions? Yes? Why does it give an error? Because this is a logical mistake. In JavaScript, if you say const a, you're saying a can never change. If you then try to change it, that's a mistake. You just told me you're never going to change it, so what are you doing trying to change it, right? So it's considered a mistake on your part as a programmer. You made a mistake. So it just errors out and kills the program. Is this clear? Yes? We're okay? All right, watch this. What I want you to do is help me write code that will print only even numbers until 100.
2a 2 times plus
Okay,
plus
give me one option.
Last Norris Castle.
Okay.
Castle. A multiply 2.
Okay, what will happen here? Oh, I should console log what? Okay, what will happen right now? Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Alright, here I'll get 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah.
2 times a
G-stop. So I need to increase A not by 1, but by 2. So from 2, I'll go to not 3, but 4. And come up. Okay, now, suppose I said this. Without changing this line, give me other code that I can do with an if statement so that A only prints in the case where? Remainder. Good. Do you know how to get a remainder of a value in programming?
yes.
It's called a modulo operator. It's called this. This is known as the modulo operator. So we can say if A modulo 2 is equal to what? 0. If it has no remainder, then it's evenly divisible by 2. Yeah. Okay. Who can explain what modulo does? Waki, if I say remainder, half of you are not going to know. Remainder had in both sides. Մնացորդ. Սա վերադասնում է մնացորդը. Եթե բաժանեիր, սրա մնացորդն է վերադասնում։ Այսինքն I-ին բաժանում ենք երկուսով, ու մնացորդը տեսնում ենք հավասար է 0-ին, թե չէ։ Այդքան բան։ This is one of the core mathematical operators, just like multiply, divide, whatever. We also have modulo. Yes? Tokoska. Ստորակետ չէ, այլ կամ and. What? Remember the and or not? You can use those. Other questions here? Yes? Of course. Other question. Wait, okay. Print me the even negative numbers to greater than or equal to, wait, let's do, hang on. Wait, let me break this. I want to print negative 2, -4, -6, -8. İnşallah.
Assign 8 minus 2.
Instead of doing a plus, I do a minus.
And assign a to minus 2.
And this, well, what will happen if I run this now?
Infinite.
Infinite loop, right? Because negative numbers are always going to be less than or equal to 100. So I need to do the other way. I need to do as long as A, inshallah,
Bigger
bigger than or equal to
minus
minus 100. Looks okay?
check.
Well, this will take care of the making sure that it's even. But you're right, I could also get rid of this and just do increment of -2. You're right, both would work. And I get woo, negatives. Got it? Yes.
Can we just, instead of doing that, have the same condition as well, but instead do constant log minus A?
Sure, you can. It's kind of cheating, but yes, you could do this. You could do while. You could do A is less than or equal to 100. Then you can say as long as this is plus. And then here you just do like a, like that.
Multiplied by -1.
There. Is that it? Yeah, you can, sure, of course. You're right. You can also, I'm so proud you guys know basic math. Okay, you can also multiply this times -1. There you go, and you get that again. Good, okay. Lots of ways to do this, absolutely. I think we got this, right? But let's focus on the fact that, do you understand how a while loop works? It's just like an if, but it repeats. After the code is run, it checks the if condition again. It runs it again, it checks it again. It keeps doing this as long as the condition is true. If it's false, it's done. What happens if this happens? What will happen now?
False.
False. So what will happen?
Nothing.
Nothing. This block will never run because this is false right away. So we're done, we jump here, and we keep going. Yes?
How often does it repeat? How much time does it take to go once?
Oh, how much time does it take to execute the code? Very fast. But it depends on the programming language you're using, the engine, the environment, the hardware, like it depends on lots of other things. Yeah. Cool. Huh? Karakusi? I think an kama. Hiç de kalıyor ne karakusi. İnşallah.
Power in.
İnşallah power. Wąskie role klasa. Ankam meg, ankam yeku, ankam yerek fens. Ankam jere, ankam etkam. Beter ki darca. Anek te uzmek were best of name. Okay, wait, before it make it chuaki, nekin lupa, it's possible. Okay, here's a question for you. Let's get rid of this. I want to print every value one at a time. Oh, you know what? Let's change these to names. Let's call this Ani, Aram, Amen, Adevik, Okay. I want you to print console log every one of these people with saying is awesome. So one way to do this would be this. Console log A0 plus space is awesome. Right? And you do that again for index, again for index 1, then again for index 2. Then again for index 3. You get what I'm saying, right? This is stupid. Give me a smarter way to do this.
While length minus 1. Length.
We need to have
A dot length.
Ya constant version.
check counter.
While b smaller than
Yeah, let me break this for a second. While b is
smaller, I get out of length.
Hani որ ben ավելի քիչ է քան array երկարությունը. What do I do?
Console.log as բաների մեջ բաց։
So I need to change b so eventually it stops. I also need to change b so it goes from 0 to 1, then 2, then 3, and so on until I exhausted the length of the array. So there it is. Ushadish, nae, uhiyase. We got this? Questions regarding this code? Yeah? Alright, everyone take out a piece of paper and something to write with. Or if you have a computer, that's fine too. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Or until whatever, 1999. Write code that will increment by 3. And print 3, then 6, then 9, blah, blah, blah, blah, as long as it's maybe less than 100 or something. Write that code. Concentrate on the syntax when you're writing code. Now, when you see print, that's when I want you to use console log. Oh, crap. All right, you have less than a minute.
Oh, cost of Բայց ինչի՞ խաղ է։